What is up guys, and welcome back to another Classic WoW video. So recently Blizzard confirmed Classic Fresh, or WoW Classic Season of Mastery, which is basically Classic Fresh, and this is going to be coming out way sooner than you might think. We have the open beta beginning on October 5th, and Classic Fresh, or Season of Mastery, I don't know what to call it yet, but there we go, will have some changes than regular Classic. So number one is faster leveling. They're planning on increasing experience gains from what they were in the first iteration of WoW Classic, and the current plan is to set them close to what the 1 to 60 experience rates are in the Burning Crusade Classic, with a bigger focus on quest XP increases. So one of the main things that many people will know about from Classic WoW is Mage Boosting. Mage Boosting was incredibly prevalent in Classic WoW. It was really obvious, like a lot of people knew about Mage Boosting. If there's one word you would associate Classic WoW with, it's either world buffs or Mage Boosting. Maybe botting, I don't really know, but it's one of those. You also have adventure, pretty much everything, but Mage Boosting was huge in Classic WoW. It was a good way of making gold for mages. Pretty much every warrior main had a mage alt just to farm gold, and pretty much everyone who wanted to farm gold had a mage as an alt just to sell boosts. And people that were leveling also went for that boosting option because it was faster, easier, and you could pretty much just buy the boost, then go AFK. So Mage Boosting, I feel like it kinda destroyed the open world and the sense of adventure and the sense of seeing people in the open world in Classic WoW. So Mage Boosting is something I really wanna see them actually work on for Classic Fresh. And based on that, I'm making this video right here talking about Mage Boosting and what I want to see happen. So in the main post, they didn't say anything about Mage Boosting, but that being said, they have actually given us a Bluepost with some updates on their leveling changes, and also talking about Mage Boosting. So basically, here's the Bluepost. Hello, there are a couple of points that we would like to add to the discussion. We would like to make sure it's still viable to level alts in this accelerated time frame. With that in mind, we are planning to take a look at Mage Boosting in the beta for this release. We have some ideas for adjustments that we can make to reduce the impact of Mage Boosting, especially in current hotspots like Maraudon. The proposed increased experience gains are focused entirely on quest experience. We don't have any plans to increase other sources of experience at this time. Let me read that last part again. The proposed increased experience gains are focused entirely on quest experience. So far, the only way they're going to actually change experience rates for Classic Fresh is make quests reward more experience. That's how easy it is. There's not going to be more experience dropping from mobs or when you kill a mob, so mob grinding will still be the same as in Classic WoW without further changes, but as of right now it's going to be the same as in Classic WoW, but quests will be better, so questing will be faster, if that makes sense. Now, based on this, a lot of content creators have shared their opinions on Twitter about both Mage Boosting and the actual leveling and leveling rates as well, and experience gains. And when it comes to Mage Boosting, you pretty much have two things, and they will have to fix one of the two. Number one is mob pathing. So if you recall, for example, in Sulfarak, mages could pretty much stand on top of a ledge, jump back and forth, and abuse mob pathing to pull everyone in the graveyard, instead of the first iteration of the farm, which was basically pulling as many graves as you could survive, and then run around and Cone of Cold them, which could be a bit difficult at times. But the second they implemented this one, where you could pretty much jump on top of the ledge, you could stand there and use Blizzard, jump back and forth, and the mobs would never ever touch you. You have the same thing happening in Maraudon as well, where you have 2 or 3 different safe spots where you could stand on top of, and it would change the mob pathing to where you could pretty much juggle the mobs back and forth, creating an instant or like an infinite loop of just jumping back and forth using Blizzard and killing the mobs over and over again. These mob pathing abuses or bugs, whatever, is what allowed mages to pull 200 plus mobs in the same instance. The same happened in Sulgurub as well, when people figured out the bridge trick to jump up and down from the bridge itself. to reset the mob pathing of the crocodiles and tigers. So the actual mob pathing abuse was the main thing that allowed mage boosting. That being said though, mages can boost and can farm without abusing mob pathing as well. For example, in Sulgurum there was a huge cone of cold kiting strategy that would also allow you to pull almost as many mobs, if not actually as many mobs as well. It only required you to use some limited invulnerability potions or some bubbles to actually be able to pull off that many mobs, because you would have to stack them up, and to stack them up they would probably hit you whenever you go out of ice block, so you would have to macro ice block with a limited invulnerability potion to be able to pull it off. Now the same can be done in, for example, Sulfaric as well, where you could stack all of the zombies from the graveyard together and then use a lip, and then you can just Cone of Cold kite them around. Cone of Cold, Frost Nova, Flame Strike. There's pretty much always going to be a strategy for mages to be able to farm and to boost without abusing mob pathing. This has been the case for, so to say, every single farm, except for Maraudon. Maraudon as well could be possible. It's going to be more difficult because you have 200 plus mobs in the same pool, but it is still doable. You could, for example, gather all of the mobs up. You could jump down, but like right at the ledge itself where you actually farm, you could jump down, use a lip, or you could also use ice block, but I would just recommend using lip right away. Then you could just run away and blizzard them. You can use the blizzard kiting strategy to just run through the entire instance and always have a blizzard running behind you to always slow the mobs down, and you can kill them over time. It's going to be more tedious, but it is 100% doable, at least in theory, and it's been done in every single dungeon except for Maraudon. I have never seen it being done in Maraudon without abusing mob pathing. But mages have an insane toolkit for farming dungeons, both solo and in groups, and also for selling boosts. So with that being said, in my opinion, Blizzard needs to address both these issues. For the mob pathing, they need to fix that one first of all, because otherwise mages can solo farm pretty much everything, and a mage can solo Sulfarak at level 40 or 42 or 44, 42, 44, somewhere in that area, and you can level all the way up to level 54 in record speed time. I think level 42 to 54, which is 12 levels, takes you under 8 hours when you get the timings done right, and when you get the run down right as well. So you can level up 12 levels in 8 hours, which is incredibly fast at that late game. So they need to fix that one first of all, to save mages just running around doing that and speed leveling and also farming tons of gold, because you can farm a lot of raw gold in dungeons that way, giving mages a huge advantage early in Classic Fresh. Now secondly, they also need to address the issue where mages can potentially both farm and boost without abusing mob pathing. So the fix that I proposed to that in my previous video, which was a couple of, I think 1 month ago now, or a couple of weeks ago, where I talked about Classic Fresh changes that I want to see, and I want to see them nerf experience from dungeon mobs, and yeah, nerf experience from dungeon mobs whenever someone is in the group and they are, let's say, 10 levels ahead of you or something. That would nerf the drop or the experience by a lot. They need to address both pathing, and they also need to address just the other thing as well, where whenever you have a level 60 mage in your group, that should give way less experience to the group itself. So I just wanted to make a video on that one really quick, because mage boosting needs to go for Classic Fresh. It could create something brand new for the community. It would make leveling so much more fun. Just instead of being AFK in dungeons, you would have to find a literal dungeon group, going through the dungeon, doing all of the quests and killing all of the bosses, doing everything the normal way, or you would have to level by doing quests in the open world, making you see more people in the open world as well, making the game itself feel more alive. So hopefully you guys enjoyed the video, and let me know what you think about mage boosting in the comments down below, and let me know if you think they need to fix mob pathing, or just group experience when a level 60 mage is in the group, or level 60 in general, or if they need to fix both. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Subscribe for more Classic Fresh content. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you again very soon.